What's going on, everybody, and welcome inside beautiful Blakesley Stadium in Mankato, Minnesota, the home of Minnesota State University, the Mavericks. But they are playing host tonight to a classic 5A rivalry between the Mankato East Cougars and the Mankato West Scarlets. Welcome into the broadcast, this week's KARE 11 Prep Game of the Week. My name is Anthony Winker, happy to be bringing you all of the action here. Mankato East entering with a record of 2-0. Mankato West enters one rivalry that's been dominated by the West Scarlets. And Mankato It'll be Mankato West. They are in the white jerseys. They'll be kicking from right to left across your screen. Mankato East, assuming all goes well on the kickoff, will get the ball first, moving from left to right. And with the kick, away we go. And Roosevelt will watch that one soar over his head into the end zone for a touchback. You don't see that too often in the high school game, and it will be the Cougars that will take over at the 20-yard line to begin play this evening. An absolutely packed house, packed to the gills on both sides. It's essentially a Mankato East home game through and through, same production. They got their crew that's running the press box up here. But, I mean, we just got to switch a venue to sort of accommodate all the fans that are here today. It'll be Mankato East taking it on offense. Kellen Willard is their quarterback, and he's going to hand it off, running left first play, and not much there. Blake Campoff, and did he lose the ball? Mankato West has the ball in their hands, but I do not think that they are going to give it to them. So it will be 2nd down and 9 coming up for Mankato East. Willard is the quarterback, and he is a sophomore only, but he's coming off of a really nice game last week for the Cougars. The star tailback, Blake Campoff. 2nd down and 9 for Mankato East. And Willard's now all alone. They're going to split out 5 in the pattern for him. Willard's looking. He'll loft deep, and a diving attempt, but coming up just empty is Hayden Tischler. So the clock stops 50 seconds in. It'll be 3rd down and 9 now for Mankato East. And Tischler is their best wide receiver, and this will be his future home. He will play football and run track here at Minnesota State Mankato. And that will be next season, as he is a senior this season for the Cougars. So now another obvious passing situation you would think here. 3rd down and 9. Willard takes the snap. He throws outside, got his man. 1st down, and still going is Gustafson. And now he's finally tackled down on the play by Jacob Jacowell. But it's a 1st down sticks mover for the Cougars. And both coaches, they talked about it this week when we got a chance to speak with them, and this is not going to be your traditional high school game. Neither of these offenses are what you would call one-dimensional. They both certainly can put it in the air if they want to. This time they'll work it on the ground, as it is Campoff, who's got a solid gain on 1st down. That's going to be a gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Tackle made that time by the linebacker, Thomas Rikus, for the Scarlets. And coming off of a 35-7 victory last week to get their first win of the season against Owatonna. Down to 10 minutes left to go. Campoff gets the carry running left, and he runs into a wall as he stood up at the line of scrimmage. And not much there. And that tackle was made by Steele Koborowski for the Scarlets. And Now another third down coming up, but a third down and a medium. So you would think maybe the entire playbook open for business for the Cougars here. Well, it's in the shotgun, 2 receivers off to the right. He's looking right, he's going deep again, and there goes the flag. That pass was intended for Lucas Gustafson. They had James Garrett in coverage, and this looks like it will be pass interference. And it looked pretty obvious from up here. So that'll put the ball So the ball in plus territory now for Mankato East. First down and 10, 9:13 left to go in the first quarter. Opening drive of the game. And yet again, the sophomore QB, Kellen Willert, is all alone in the shotgun. Willert, and they're going to go on the screen. It was bobbled and dropped by the receiver, Blaschko. So that will bring up second down and 10. And second down and 10 now for Mankato East. Tischler is the motion man. Everybody pretty tight in on the line of scrimmage. Kampoff takes the handoff, and he's got a little bit of running room, spinning off of a tackle. And between the hash marks, wrestled down after a gain of about 6. So the Cougars so far, this first drive, they're doing a good job of staying in between the sticks. And they've worked themselves into another third down and manageable. Picked up 2 third downs already on this drive. 1 via a pass completion, 1 via penalty. And yet again, the third down and 3 here, the entire playbook available to them. And Willard, yet again, he's all alone out in the gun. Now a man motions into the backfield with him in Meyer. And they're going to hand it off to Meyer, running right. Meyer is going to be very close to the first down. They're going to mark him down right at the 33-yard line. And it's going to all depend on the spot. That looks to be good enough. No, they're going to say he's short by a yard. So that's didn't look to be a very generous spot for him, but this is go for it territory, you would think, and the offense is still out on the field. There is currently nobody under center right now for Mankato East, and now it's going to be Kampoff who's going to take the direct snap. No, he's going to look to throw. He's lofting. He's got his man down the left sideline. It's caught by Tischler, and he's out of bounds inside the 10 for the Cougars. So Kampoff, he not just the running back, he can throw. He's thrown twice already this season and does have a throwing touchdown in the lefty, finding Tischler to pick up the first down. What a gutsy play call by Eric Davis, head coach and offensive coordinator, long time for Mankato East. The clock stops with 7:22 left, still first drive, and this snap is rolled, and Kampoff's in trouble in the backfield. He's able to spin out of a tackle, but not 3. And getting in there first in the backfield, Laren Kelly, the senior for Mankato West. And the clock will continue to run. This drive 5 minutes old. And now back outside the 10-yard line. The ball rests at the 12. Second down and 12. Second down and goal, I should say. And after the rolled snap, we'll see if it's better this time. It is. It's play action. Willard looking end zone, lofting end zone, touchdown. Lucas Gustafson on the receiving end of a 12-yard touchdown pass from the sophomore QB Willard. And Mankato East off to a great start here from Minnesota State. Mankato. A surgical drive by the Cougars. And the early lead is theirs. And Tischler, he is the kicker, and he boots it, and he's got the extra point. So the lead is 7-0 in favor of Mankato East. A good start for the Cougars as they look to get their first win in this series in 19 years. We'll play through the break here before Mankato East kicks the ball back off to the Scarlets. Welcome back here inside of Blakesley Stadium, and a great start for Mankato East. They go right down the field, 80-yard touchdown drive in 5 minutes, 24 seconds to get Mankato East on the board this evening. Their first touchdown of the game on their first drive of the game. And here comes Mankato East. The Cougars kick it away. They'll drive it in low. That'll be brought in by Rikus. And Rikus has some room, runs into his own man at the 40, and he'll be taken down around the 42-yard line, they're going to say. So really good starting field position for the Scarlets. And that is where the Mankato West Scarlets will begin their first drive in this rivalry series. As we mentioned before the break, winners of this in the series of 19 straight games. But there's a wrinkle, and that's just in the regular season, because Mankato West and Mankato East matched up in the playoffs last season. And we already got a 5-yard penalty that's been assessed on Mankato West that will back them up. So it'll be first down and 15, I believe, once they are able to get the ball here. Or how far back are they going? They're going back 10 yards. So not really sure what happened there. Or that's going to be on the kick return, I said, as it looks like. So that will just start them at the 32. First down and 10, Mankato West, and the first play is a handoff, and not much there for the tailback, Trevor Sheldrup. And Mankato West will have second down and long coming up. But to add that further onto that context, Mankato East and Mankato West, they matched up in the playoffs last year. Mankato West, they won the game and therefore the Jug Trophy that they play for every year in the regular season series. But Mankato East defeated them in the playoffs and ended their season. So there's certainly some residual anger left from that game that these players on Mankato West really want to get this one. The quarterback is Osborne Lorenz, and he is an imposing figure back there for the Scarlets. 6'5", 215, number 2 in white. He takes the snap, and he's looking to throw for the first time. Lorenz doesn't see anything, scrambles right. He's going to take off and run, and he'll get about halfway to the first down and out of bounds around the 38-yard line. They're going to give him the 36-yard line. So not a great spot there either. Yeah, Tyler Thill just looking to run him down there for Mankato East. Make that Tyler Tilgis. And now that'll bring up third down and 6. First third down opportunity on this side of the ball for both teams. And three receivers off to the left for Lorenz. They're giving him pretty good cushion. Lorenz is going to keep it, and he's got some space down the right side. Tilgis will wrap him down, but not before Mankato West picks up the first down. A Strib varsity first down for Mankato West. And certainly the difference in these two quarterbacks is Mankato East's QB1, not necessarily one who will run it too often, but Lorenz will certainly put it on the ground. Entering play today, 25 carries, 221 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 494 yards through the air, and we're just 2 games into this season. Lorenz gives it to Sheldrup. And Sheldrup, that's a short gain of about 2. He'll be taken down on the play by Logan Kleist. And Kleist and Tilgis are 2 fantastic linebackers. In fact, the head coach for Mankato West, J.J. Helgett, he said these might be the 2 best backers in the entire conference. So high praise coming from the opposition. Second down and 8 coming up for the Scarlets. Knocking on the doorstep of Mankato East territory. Another handoff. Sheldrup doesn't see anything he likes there, and he'll try to bounce outside, but nothing there either. And on the tackle, a good play made by Bennett Blom. So now another third down and long coming up. We march towards the end of the first quarter here. A quick moving quarter. 3:37 and counting left to go. That first drive, remember, from the Cougars took up over 5 minutes. And now this drive has taken up over 3 minutes. Lorenz, he's dropping back to pass. He's in trouble. And then he dropped the ball, and he's able to just fall on it, luckily for him. But no idea what happened there. I mean, he just dropped it. And that'll bring up fourth down, and out comes the punt team for the Scarlets. Jacoby Tosh is out to punt, and it'll be Colton Stair back to receive this for Mankato East. It's a really good punt, and Stair will field it inside his 10, makes a move to get around one guy, and then he's taken down at the 15. And boy, I mean, that is such an advantage to have a kicker punter like that in high school football. And Tosh, he might be playing college one day, and that was a very, very good punt. Just by quick estimation there, trying to go off of memory, that was almost a 50-yard punt and just a 5-yard return. So if you can kind of flip field position in that way, and already we've seen it. I mean, Mankato East, their first drive started at the 20. They were able to score the touchdown anyway. Mankato West had their first possession at the 40. I mean, that extra 20 yards of field position means something huge. And now look out, running free down the right sideline and wrestled out of bounds. Campoff. A huge gain. He'll be marked down out of bounds at the 33-yard line of the Scarlets. And that is a gain of 52. And so on one play, just as we were talking about the field position and just how Mankato West has had that advantage early, it has not mattered for Mankato East. Their offense has been moving. Kellen Willard is in the shotgun, and he's looking to throw on the screen outside, staying on his feet, but wrapped up. And a good job the tackle by Davion Hill on Boston Meyer, the tight end for Mankato East. So that'll bring up second down. But a 52-yard scamper for Blake Kampoff, getting them down here in just one play into the plus territory. They're going to say that's a loss of 3. So a pretty significant play there. And now Mankato East behind the sticks for second down and 13. We'll try Kampoff again. He gets around the right end. A flag flies behind the line of scrimmage. And getting tackled back behind the line was Kampoff by O'Neill. So third down and long. The flag was in the realm of holding territory. So we'll check on that. And honestly, if you're at Mankato West, you just decline it. We'll find out in a second. So they are going to accept the penalty, drive them back the 10 yards, despite the good play by the defense. So we'll see if they regret that decision. It'll bring them second down and 23, back out at the 46. First quarter clock is inside of 75 seconds now. Willard throws on the slant. It's caught by O'Brien, but he's driven backwards. So they make that caught by Gustafson and tackled by O'Neill. So a good decision to decline the penalty there, or accept the penalty, I should say, by Mankato West. And this will bring up third down and a prayer. Just a gain of about 3 yards. So now third down and 20. The Mankato West student section coming to life, far side of the field. Willard looking, throws, and very nearly intercepted by Jacob Jackowell. That will bring up fourth down, and out will come the punt team for the Cougars. Lucas Gustafson will punt it for Mankato East. And he will punt to his number twin. Those two have done plenty of battles in this game already in O'Neill. Gustafson delays and fires up a really good punt. Does it take a east bounce? It will not. It will roll into the end zone for a touchback. And the Scarlets will trot back out onto the field on offense. And will take over on the 20. It's 20 seconds left in quarter number 1, and it's Osborne, Lorenz, and company back out on offense. 2 receivers right, 1 left. And the motion man is Betts. And they're going to hand it off to Sheldrup. And now it's his turn to break off a big one. And the defender falls down and is able to shoestring tackle. That might have just saved a touchdown. And falling down on the play there was Blashko. And he's just able to get enough of Sheldrup to take him down. And he housed an 82-yard touchdown on the first play of the game last week for Mankato West against Owatonna, and very nearly almost ran for another one there. And there is the end of the first quarter. Mankato East, they're on top 7-0. Mankato West is on the move, and they'll flip ends of the field, and we'll keep it going when we come back on the KARE 11 game of the week.
When it comes to keeping your home comfortable, the sooner, the smarter. From August 22nd to September 21st, book your furnace or AC tune-up. It's your last chance to save big. Save $35 when you schedule just one, or save $70 when you schedule both at the same time. You'll get expert service, peak efficiency, and a home that's ready for anything. The sooner you call, the smarter you save. Book online at standardheating.com or give us a call at 612-824-2656.
There's a new destination for all things Minnesota high school sports. It's called Strib Varsity. It's from the Minnesota Star Tribune, so you know it's trusted. With a deep bench to cover all of Minnesota. We've rebuilt and relaunched our MM Prep hubs and added more sports. Stories, streams, stats, scores, schedules. We have it all at Strib Varsity. Subscribe today at startribune.com/stribvarsity.
Back here inside of Blakesley Stadium, and the second quarter underway with an Osborne Lorenz quarterback keeper for a gain of about 3. Today's game is brought to you in part by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Big plays happen here and on the field and at home. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has the winning game plan to keep your family comfortable all year long. Don't miss this month's specials at standardheating.com. Second down and 7 coming up for Mankato West. And coming off of the big run by Sheldrup, they have the ball in plus territory. Lorenz shoots it outside. This is caught by O'Neal, and O'Neal with a good run to get the first down for the Scarlets. And O'Neal playing an important role on both sides of the ball for Mankato West as one of their starting safeties and as well as their leading reception getter for the offense, and Osborne Lorenz. West is on the move. Lorenz on the quarterback keeper, and this time Mankato East is there and read it well as Logan Kleist picks up the tackle. Kleist coming off of a pretty big game last week for the Cougars, a couple of sacks and a couple of tackles in Mankato East. 48-26 victory against Rochester. John Marshall there last time out, a shootout in that one. The offense led the way for the first half, scoring 34 points, and the team led 34-13 at halftime in that game. So a lot of points scored, but so far just 7 on the board, all of them belonging to the team on defense right now, Mankato East. Mankato West looking for the response on second down and 9, and we're going to get a whistle and a timeout called by Mankato West. So let's get another ad read out of the way. For over 90 years, Topline Financial Credit Union has been helping the Twin Cities reach their financial dreams. With 11 convenient branches, they're here for life's big moments. For your first checking account, to new wheels, a dream home, retirement, or your small business. Visit toplinecu.com today, because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender. So out of the timeout, and that was taken by Mankato West. They have 2 left, and Mankato East still does have all of their timeouts. It'll be second down and 9. 4 in the pattern for Lorenz, who drops back to pass, is feeling the pressure, and down he goes. But there's a flag down in the backfield as well. Bennett Balam picks up the sack, and now a second flag flies as Tilgis, he was, I believe, hit or some altercation after the play there. So there are 2 flags down and this should be for 2 separate fouls. We'll check on it here. Unfortunately, these refs don't have a mic, so I hope you ball knowers out there can be able to decipher these referees' calls, and I'll do my best for you as well. But they're still discussing at the 29-yard line. You can see the Mankato West huddle is waiting patiently. Okay, so we got a chop block on Mankato West and an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Mankato East. So this should, I'm not really sure what the ruling is here. They either offsetting penalties and we just do the down over, or you back up Mankato West the 15 yards for their penalty, but then you move them forward again 15 yards after the Mankato East penalty happened after the play, which should in theory be a first down for Mankato West. But I mean, these referees are discussing that very thing right now as we speculate up here in the booth as well. So this should either be 2nd down and 9 from that same spot or 1st and 10 Mankato West from that same spot. Okay, so actually they're going to say that penalty was on Mankato West, the unsportsmanlike. So both penalties, I believe, if I'm reading those signals right, are on Mankato West. So that'll back them up way up. And it is going to be 3rd down and 24. Because you decline the first penalty if you're Mankato East, the chop block during the play, and then accept this one after the play that drives them back to 15. So I believe I have that right, but anybody can correct me watching this at home. And actually, it might even be longer. They have to make the 16-yard line. The ball sits at the 47. So this is a 3rd down and 31. And they're just going to run it with Sheldrup. He's got some room running right. Sheldrup is going to go down at the 38-yard line. And I'm not even sure if Jacoby Tosh has the leg to reach it this far. This would be a 53-yard field goal. So this is likely going to be a punt for the Scarlets. And a promising drive squelched by penalty. So Tosh has got the power. Now we're going to find out if he has control of that power and accuracy. Going to try to pin Mankato East in deep here. And Tosh, it's a very short punt, and it will take a Scarlet bounce and be down at the 14-yard line. And that is where Mankato East will take back over, up 7-0. Today's game is brought to you in part by the Star Tribune. Minnesota needed a go-to source for everything high school sports. That's why the Minnesota Star Tribune created Strib Varsity. You'll find unbeatable journalism, stats, and schedules, streams, stories, and more. Sign up now at startribune.com/Strib Varsity. 8:28 left to go in the second quarter, and Mankato East is taking over and looking to throw, and that pass is caught on the crossing route, and still fighting for all those extra yards is Boston Meyer. He is got another Mankato East first down on the second effort. A Strib Varsity first down. And Mankato East, they've waited 2 decades to get a win against Mankato West in the regular season. And so far, off to a really good start to try to accomplish that quest. 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line now. Mankato East will run it off to the left. Campoff able to shake a tackle in the backfield, and he's wrestled out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Another late flag flies in. As Campoff and Jackowell will say hello to each other. And we'll check on the penalty flag. So it's another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. This time it will be on Mankato East. So that will back them up 15 yards. Mankato West, they allowed just 204 yards of total offense last week against Owatonna, and we're already getting close to that mark here in the first half. Mankato East, a couple of solid drives. Only one of them has resulted in points. .37 left in the half. Second down and 16 actually is Willert lofting and just out of the reach of Tischler, who wants a flag and won't get one. So now it'll be third down and 16.
16 for the Cougars.
And you always know that in a rivalry game, this is the kind of stuff where you throw out the records. And last year, Mankato East, they thought that they had a really, really good chance of winning this game in the regular season last year, played right here in this stadium. But they ended up falling in that game, despite the fact that they finished with a better record and a better season than Mankato West. And obviously they rectified that with the win in the playoffs, as Willert is lofting on third down and 16. It's caught by Tischler. He's got the first down and more. Tischler, right sideline, and knocked down from behind by O'Neill, but there is a flag down deep in the East backfield. So I think this one will likely be coming back. But we'll check on the penalty. I really wish these refs had mics, man. Some Mankato East fans down below me just now realizing that there's the penalty, and that will bring it all the way back and negate a big play to Tischler. But just to finish that earlier thought, last season, Mankato East was defeated 35-15 in a game that they really thought that they had a good chance in. They didn't like how they played, and then it felt good about getting them back in the playoffs, though. This ball, speaking of getting back, it's all the way back at the 14. They'll run it with Campoff, who will get back to the 17-yard line, but nowhere close to where they needed to be, which is the 36-yard line. So a couple times now, penalties have really impacted drives. Last drive, it was for Mankato West. This drive for Mankato East. And now they are going to be forced to punt. And from deep in their own territory. Gustafson, though, he fired off of a really good one his last time. And another pretty good punt. This will be fielded by O'Neill back at the 43, and he gets driven backwards after a return of 8. But Mankato West will start their drive in plus territory at the 49-yard line for the Cougars, and this is their best starting field position of the evening so far. So Osborne Lorenz and company back out onto the field. And it will be first down and 10 from the 49. .6:22 left to go, first half. Sheldrup on the screen. Sheldrup makes a move, has got a first down, and he's still going out of bounds near the 30-yard line. So a good gain on the swing pass out to Sheldrup. And boy, is Mankato West happy to have him back. He missed the opener earlier this season. It was a 21-19 loss for Mankato West. The first time that they've lost their season opener since 2012. He missed that game. The team struggled on the ground, and now he's back. And Mankato West seems to just have their offense back at full strength again. And 6:13 left now as the ball is placed. They're going to say he went out of bounds at the 33. They're going to run Sheldrup again, and this time he's tripped up in the backfield. It's a good play made by the Cougars defense. And that is Boston Meyer, the starting tight end, who also has been getting some snaps on defense for the Cougars, who makes that tackle in the backfield. And Sheldrup last game, he had 8 carries for 192 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. So that's a talented back for the Scarlets. It's a windy day here from Blakesley Stadium in Mankato. And Lorenz looking, he gets it out. Sheldrup with a nice catch. And now he's got a first down and more inside the red zone and out of bounds around the 15-yard line. So Mankato West on the move behind their star tailback, who has taken a couple of passes for a big plays. Can the Mankato East defense bend but not break? That'll be the question on first down and 10 from the 15 as we are under 5 minutes to go now in the first half. Lorenz swings it out. There's Sheldrup again, and this time he loses his footing after a short gain of about 2.
He's brought down after gain of a couple yards by Stair and Charles for the Cougars. Second down.
And last year, Mankato West was a very uncharacteristic season for the Scarlets. As you mentioned, Mankato East finishing with a better record than them last year. The Scarlets 5-4 record last season, and not quite what we're used to seeing from them, as they have been one of those steady programs of Class 5A lately. A down season last year for the Scarlets, but looking to change that this year. On the handoff, it's Sheldrup, and a short gain again, taken down from behind by Carter Schwartz.
2.5 yards on the play.
So another gain of about 2. That'll put them about halfway to their goal. They need the 5. The ball's at the 10, so it'll be third down and 5 now. Mankato East crowd coming to life on this third down. Crucial third down here. And, oh no. Lorenz, as this play is not even going to count, and Lorenz is injured. Non-contact. And he is limping slowly towards the sideline. And it's a pre-snap penalty from the Scarlets. And Lorenz is coming out of the game. So we'll hope that he is okay. And it's going to be Charlie Bobholes, the new quarterback. And we saw him complete that pass Bob Holst takes the snap, and he throws end zone. Touchdown. So how about that? You come in cold off the bench, and a first play touchdown strike to Aiden Betts. And Mankato West, one extra point away from tying this game. The senior QB making the most of his moment. And Betts has his third touchdown of the year. And Tosh is on to try the extra point. And that kick is good. And the Scarlet crowd on the far side of the field, not many empty seats over there, coming to life as they've tied this game up with 3:02 left to go in the first half. We'll play through the kickoff and be back when Mankato East will take back over.
Like you, we believe preparation, dedication, and teamwork lead to success. At Xcel Energy, we're proud to power high school sports across Minnesota.
Tie game now from Mankato, Minnesota State Mankato and Blakesley Stadium. A Mankato West touchdown thrown by the backup quarterback after the starter Osborne Lorenz. And a play that didn't end up even counting for the Scarlets. It was a pre-snap penalty, took the snap, and immediately came up gimpy. The quarterback, Bob Holst, comes off the bench on a crucial 3rd and 10. And what does he do? He connects on a 15-yard touchdown pass. And all of a sudden, this game is tied on the squib kick. And it's bobbled. It's still loose. And Mankato West, they have the ball. Just disaster for Mankato East on that squib kickoff. Just unable to be gathered back in by number 32, Maddox Hunnicky for Mankato East. And that was recovered by Brendan Blashko. Or actually, I take that back. For Mankato West, recovered by Wyatt Bartell. So Mankato West has got the ball back now. And it is still the backup QB, Bob Holst, in, and Mankato West is going to call time. Under 3 minutes left to go. And again, just a disastrous sequence of events there if you're a Mankato East fan. As that ball just was bobbled on the kickoff. And that's the one advantage you would think. We talked a little bit earlier about the field position advantages that it can afford the team who can just bombing it to the end zone like Mankato West did, or Mankato East did, I should say. But then you also have that there too, where actually say Mankato West, they can bomb it out of the end zone, and they also go with the squib kick there. And when that ball is bouncing, and you know that there's 11 high school, 11, 18-year-olds, 17, 18-year-olds running out at you, that can be a little unnerving. And it clearly was there for Mankato East. And it was bobbled, and now and West has the ball back. And Bob Holst gets to go back out on the field. And the senior quarterback will launch it down the field, but that throws well off target, hunting for O'Neal. So this will bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Incomplete.
And I'm sure Mankato East fans are thinking, couldn't you have done that last play?
Coverage brings up
But he was
2nd
on
and
target perfectly to Betts for the touchdown. 2:51 left to go in the first half. Good starting field position, obviously, for Mankato West. And they need the 20 for the first on 2nd down and 10. Bob Holst does not have any stats to his name yet this season. This is his first appearance of the year. Bob Holst takes the snap and he's throwing again down the middle of the field. And again, just not on the same page as his receiver as that ball was underthrown.
Betts on the play. Blasco in the coverage for the Cougars. 3rd and 10 for the Scarlets.
Again, he was looking for Betts there, and now Bob Holst will get the play from the sideline. And after 2 straight throws, I mean, it's kind of interesting play calling from Mankato West. You'd think with the quarterback cold off the bench that you might see a run or two, but they just put it in the air twice, and now they're facing down a 3rd down and 10. Mankato East, this would be big. They can get off the field here. And we are going to see another timeout called
It is their 3rd and final.
by the Scarlets. So they're out of timeouts. And we'll take a quick break.
Topline Financial Credit Union now offers 11 full-service branch locations from St. Francis and Forest Lake to Maple Grove and Bloomington and several in between. For 90 years, Topline has been serving the Twin Cities. So trust the credit union that I trust with your auto, home, and personal banking needs with competitive rates to fuel your dreams. Whether it's a car, a mortgage, or everyday banking, trust Topline's friendly and knowledgeable team. Join today and experience the difference for yourself. Visit toplinecu.com today because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Xcel Energy, supporting student athletes and making energy work better for you and our communities. That's Xcel Energy. 3rd down and 10 coming up for Mankato West after they put the ball in the air 2 straight times with the backup quarterback. And now we'll see what the plan is here. Sheldrup standing to the left of Bob Holst. And they'll throw again quickly outside. That's in and out of the hands of Evan Sensky, the sophomore wide receiver for the Scarlets. And now it's a decision here on 4th down from the 30.
For the Scarlets.
And this is very much no man's land for Mankato West. Anything kind of around the 25 to 35, 40-yard line you would kind of consider as that no man's land, where it's probably too far for a field goal, but, you know, it's not exactly, you don't really want to be punting from there either. And the offense is still on the field right now for Mankato West. 4th down and 10. Bob Holst takes the snap. He'll throw for the 4th straight time over the middle, off the hands of the defender and very nearly intercepted. That was Bennett Blom who got his hands on it and probably maybe saved the 1st down there. Just Bob Holst could not
Mankato East.
fit that one over the linebacker in front of the safety. The layer throw there. That's a high-level throw. And it almost cost them. But, I mean, that's a 4th down play. You kind of just need to give your guy a chance there. The old adage, you never throw it away on 4th down. But Mankato East, after what was disaster before, they're able to get the ball right back and no yards gained on the drive from the Scarlets.
Number 3, Lucas.
Willard, he finds Gustafson over the middle, who was tackled immediately after a short gain of 4 yards.
He's brought down by O'Neal after a gain of 4 yards.
Gustafson and O'Neal, that has been a fun matchup today. I think Gustafson's gotten the better of that one so far, but boy, has O'Neal put some big hits on him. I'm sure making him think about it every time he catches that football. From the 34, Willert going back over the middle. He's got his man Tischler. And a first down again for Mankato East. A Strib Varsity first down.
Aiden Tischler. He's brought down after pickup of 17 yards, but not before he picks up enough yardage for another Mankato East.
A little bit more energy and life in this Mankato East crowd after the big defensive stand by the Cougars. Back on offense and on the move now. It's a gain of 11, I believe, there. As Willert, he faces the blitz, and Tischler is all alone over the middle of the field, and a tackle made that saved a huge gain, more going forward there by Rikus.
10.5 yards, and that's enough for another Mankato East.
And so they continue to march. And they're throwing again. Willert on the slant. This time it goes through the hands of Tischler. And incomplete. There waiting for him was Clark Shane, the middle linebacker for Mankato West.
He's brought to the ground by number 15.
Clark Shane, I believe, the leading tackler for the Scarlets. He controls the middle. And that's a big body there in the middle of the field. Clark Shane, 6'2", 210, just a junior as well. And already the starting middle linebacker for the Scarlets. Second down and 10, and yet again, it's Willert who's out all alone in the shotgun. The sophomore takes the snap, immediate pressure, throws it, and that's what the blitzing pressure can do, as that ball had to come out way sooner than he wanted for Boston Meyer. And I believe in the shot out of a cannon was Koborowski. So this will bring up a third down and 10. And it's kind of interesting now. We've seen both of these coaches kind of go away from the running game on this last drive.
That's a 15-yard penalty, and that's enough yards for another Mankato East.
Oh, my. I mean, emotions running high as you got another post-play penalty assessed in this game. This time it's on Mankato West, and that'll move it into plus territory deeper for Mankato East, and it's 1st and 10 from the 30. Kampoff is the back, and I'm sure he wants the ball on 1st down and 10. And they're going to give it to Kampoff, who is able to run away from a tackler. He's still on his feet, and that is a really good run from Blake Kampoff to turn what was very nearly about a 3-yard loss into a 4-yard gain. And they're going to actually only give him 3 there. So 2nd down and 7 coming up. Gustafson, Tischler, and Roosevelt are off to the right. And Kampoff will take it on the swing pass. Those 3 are going to block for him. Kampoff makes a move around one defender. He's still going. Gets around the right end, going towards the pylon, and he's in for the touchdown. From 27 yards out, Mankato East back on top. And the running back on the receiving end of this touchdown to put the Cougars up 13-7. And with 30 seconds left in the first half, and maybe not the obvious time to run the ball in the 2-minute drill, but you can use that dynamic tailback in other ways, like Mankato East did right there on the swing pass. And now, after this extra point, is driven low but through. The Cougars, they're back up on top by a score of 14-7. So they go 70 yards down the field after the 4-play turnover on downs by Mankato West. They get the ball back and go right down the field. So they shake off the bobbled kickoff and have the lead back. And now we'll see what the Scarlets can do, if anything, with 30 seconds to work with on the clock. And I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you guys have seen some crowd shots and our viewers at home, but this game and this stadium is packed to the gills. This crosstown rivalry, Mankato East versus Mankato West. A couple of special events going on today, as well as the Randy Shaver Tackle Cancer game. Obviously, Randy Shaver, a big friend of ours at the KARE 11. Now he works for Strib Varsity, but of course the long time sports anchor for KARE 11. And Strib Varsity able to pull him out of retirement. Also one of our sponsors here. And then, of course, there's a food drive as well, the Echo Food Drive, where the fans were instructed to bring in some non-perishable food items to donate to Echo. And it's a contest between the two sides, East versus West. Who could bring in more?
The Mankato 77 Lancers, they'll be performing competition tomorrow, but you get to see them tonight at halftime. Stick around.
30 seconds left. Mankato East will kick it off. Up 14-7. Another low kickoff, fielded cleanly by the Scarlets. They'll run, and oh my! And that's a huge hit thrown. But it did, in fact, draw the taunting penalty. It's Maddox Hunnicky who made the hit on Koborowski. But you could see it. I mean, that is going to be a penalty every time. I mean, you get up and you celebrate in the guy's face as he's down. And so that is going to be a free 15 yards for Mankato East. I mean, you make that hit, make the play, very much in your right to celebrate, but not right over the guy looking at him as he's down. And that is what the call was there for the Cougars. And that'll move it up 15 yards forward. So 23 seconds to work with. There is no timeouts left for the Scarlets, but we'll see what they can do here. They're up at the 48-yard line. Babos is still the QB, and a little discombobulated on the handoff for Sheldrup. He gets across midfield. He's driven backwards. The clock will continue to run, and I think Mankato West is going to let it. No urgency to get to the line and spike it. And that is going to bring the first half to a close. Mankato East, folks, they have not won this game in 20 years, and they are in the lead at the halftime break, 14-7. And Mankato West will get the ball, though, out of the half. So, been a fun game so far. We finally got a close one here on the Prep KARE 11 game of the week, and we cannot wait to bring you the second half coming up in about 15 minutes. Got some commercials to get through. We'll recap the action here in the first half, and then we'll show you some scores from around the state of Minnesota on Friday Night Lights Night. And the Prep KARE 11 game of the week is a good one so far. 14-7 lead, Mankato East over Mankato West. We'll take a break and be back on the Prep Spotlight game of the week.
Topline Financial Credit Union now offers 11 full-service branch locations from St. Francis and Forest Lake to Maple Grove and Bloomington and several in between. For 90 years, Topline has been serving the Twin Cities. So trust the credit union that I trust with your auto, home, and personal banking needs with competitive rates to fuel your dreams. Whether it's a car, a mortgage, or everyday banking, trust Topline's friendly and knowledgeable team. Join today and experience the difference for yourself. Visit ToplineCU.com today. Because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal Opportunity Lender.
Like you, we believe preparation, dedication, and teamwork lead to success. At Xcel Energy, we're proud to power high school sports across Minnesota.
Some things are easier said than done, like getting everything to fit. Other things are easier done than said, like getting cash back when you open a new TrueStone checking account, so you can bag back some cash back to stash in your backpack. Hard to say, but easy to do. It's true, because we're TrueStone.
Welcome back inside Blakesley Stadium as got some entertainment down on the halftime field as we will break as we are in halftime right now. A 14-7 lead in favor of the Mankato East Cougars over the Mankato West Scarlets. Been treated to a good one here. We finally got one on the Prep Care 11 game of the weekend. Very excited to bring the second half. Mankato West will get the ball out of half first. In the first drive of the game, as we recap the action, what a drive by Mankato East. They were juiced up, jazzed up for this game, and it showed. Got the kickoff and took it 80, got the kickoff on the 20, and then drove down the field 80 yards. Opening drive, touchdown score to go up 7-0. The teams exchanged possessions for a little bit after that, and finally Mankato West was able to get the ball back, and they were able to punch it into the end zone as well to tie this game back up at 7. And then just there at the end of the half, Mankato East camp off, taking it down into the end zone on the swing pass to put the Cougars up 14-7 right before the end of the half. So really impressive stuff for Mankato East, and they are 24 minutes away. If they can hold on to this lead from their first win over at Mankato West in the regular season in almost 2 decades. So really, really riveting action coming up in the second half of play, and we can't wait to bring it to you. Got the Lancers out. This is what I've told. They're competing tomorrow, and a little bit of a practice performance in front of this Mankato East, Mankato West split down the middle crowd at the stadium of a team that I think that they can agree that they like to cheer for, the Minnesota State Mankato Mavericks. So riveting action out on the field, and hopefully the teams can clean up some of the penalties. We had, I think, 5 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties combined between the two teams, and they were costly penalties that killed drives. So that is going to be something that I think both of these coaches are going to be needing to be addressed in the respective locker rooms or whatever they are here at Minnesota State University Mankato. So that's the one thing that you got to clean up, I think, if you're both teams. But right now, I mean, the game is close. It's out there for the taking for both of them. We'll be back in a little bit, and when we come back, we will recap scores from around the state of Minnesota. A busy night, obviously. It's Friday night, football night, and high school sports and high school football happening all across the state. We'll update you on all the scores we can when we come back on the Care 11 Spotlight Game of the Week.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, they've put their members in the driver's seat for 90 years. So whether you're buying a vehicle or if you're refinancing a vehicle, an auto loan from Topline can help put you in the driver's seat too. It's just one of the many ways that the Topline team is helping their members achieve their financial dreams. Become a Topline member and let them be a part of your dreams too. Visit toplinecu.com, because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
There's a new destination for all things Minnesota high school sports. It's called Strib Varsity. It's from the Minnesota Star Tribune, so you know it's trusted. With a deep bench to cover all of Minnesota. We've rebuilt and relaunched our MN Prep hubs and added more sports. Stories, streams, stats, scores, schedules. We have it all at Strib Varsity. Subscribe today at startribune.com/stribvarsity.
When it comes to keeping your home comfortable, the sooner, the smarter. From August 22nd to September 21st, book your furnace or AC tune-up. It's your last chance to save big. Save $35 when you schedule just one, or save $70 when you schedule both at the same time. You'll get expert service, peak efficiency, and a home that's ready for anything. The sooner you call, the smarter you save. Book online at standardheating.com or give us a call at 612-824-2656.
Feels pretty good here, right, Johnny? Feels good here. Yeah. Good breeze. It gets hot. This feels so good. It comes in real great fast, but after that, he keep it. Did it? I couldn't tell if he or Achilles went. That's too bad. Either of it could have been Achilles. Did you see him as they left the field? I didn't pay attention. Lucas Confidence had a good start.
I asked Eric, and he was supposed to find out, but did he switch to three because he's the best three-point shooter in town?
It's always been three. Lucas Confidence.
Eric said he changed his number this year to three.
Oh, what was he before?
I don't know.
At Topline Financial Credit Union, they've been a part of their members' big moments for 90 years. Whether it's making home improvements, going to school, starting a business, or maybe getting married. Interest-only home equity lines of credit can make it happen. It's just one of the many ways that they're helping their members achieve their financial dreams and love the home that they're in. Become a Topline member and let them be a part of yours too. Visit toplinecu.com because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
When it comes to keeping your home comfortable, the sooner, the smarter. From August 22nd to September 21st, book your furnace or AC tune-up. It's your last chance to save big. Save $35 when you schedule just one, or save $70 when you schedule both at the same time. You'll get expert service, peak efficiency, and a home that's ready for anything. The sooner you call, the smarter you save. Book online at standardheating.com or give us a call at 612-824-2656.
Like you, we believe preparation, dedication, and teamwork lead to success. At XL Energy, we're proud to power high school sports across Minnesota.
There's a new destination for all things Minnesota high school sports. It's called Strib Varsity. It's from the Minnesota Star Tribune, so you know it's trusted. With a deep bench to cover all of Minnesota. We've rebuilt and relaunched our MM Prep hubs and added more sports. Stories, streams, stats, scores, schedules. We have it all at Strib Varsity. Subscribe today at startribune.com/stribvarsity.
Home is where it happens. The you had to be there stuff. The blink and you missed it stuff. The remember this stuff. That's why the local experts at Truestone Home Mortgage are here for the making your dream home yours stuff. It's true, because we're Truestone.
Sorry to interrupt your peaceful watching of the Mankato 77 Lancers marching band. And if you were hoping for scores, sorry to be a little bit tardy delivering those to you. But we got bills to pay here at KARE 11 as we welcome you back inside Blakesley Stadium, the home of the Minnesota State University Mavericks. But tonight playing host to a high school football game, a crosstown rivalry matchup between the Mankato East Cougars and the Mankato West Scarlets. And as promised now, with about 2 minutes to go before we bring you back in for the second half of action, as the marching band is just now getting off of the field, we will, as soon as I can pull it up here on my phone, bring you some scores from around the state and some good games tonight in action. 36-0 Fridley was a victor. So we're just going to read down the list here from the Strib Varsity website. A 6-0 game, by the way, was played. And that one, Stephen Argyle Central defeating Goodridge Grigla Gatsky. Sorry if I pronounced any of that wrong, but a 6-0 game over there. 36-0 Fridley over Columbia Heights. Elk River victors over St. Francis by a score of 50-14. And we keep going down. Some, of course, don't update live, unfortunately, so we can't give you live updates there. Minnetonka defeated is up on Moorhead right now by a score of 40-21. Minnetonka, the number 2 team in Class 6A. And Moorhead's a pretty good team, so that's a pretty significant result there for the big schools. Chaska is up 28-rip on Hastings, and that's a rivalry game for these two. All of them are in the same conference division. That division also includes Chanhassen and Waconia. So Chanhassen, Chaska, Mankato East, Waconia, Mankato West make up the North Star South Gold division that both of these two teams play in. Byron up 42-6 on Hill Murray. Boy, the Bears have been having a really, really good season. Rochester Mayo 17-9 up on New Prague. And we continue to scroll down. Maple Grove up 35-14 over Mounds View in a out of conference matchup there. Mounds View, a good team, but Maple Grove, they're the number 1 team in the state, and they're showing it over there. Continue to scroll down the list here. Owatonna is in action against Rochester Century. That game is not getting live updates, though, so don't know a score over there. 10-10, Bemidji and Buffalo are knotted up in a good one. But at Buffalo, it's a riveting game there. Woodbury and Hopkins are playing tonight. Eden Prairie up 21-19 against Mason West and the Edina Hornets. That's a really significant game there between two really good teams. And right now, the Eagles holding the 2-point advantage. Continue to scroll down the list. That's about it in terms of games that we're getting live updates from. Lakeville North and Lakeville South are playing a game tonight. 12-7, Stewartville is leading Casson-Mantorville. Wayzata playing St. Michael Albertville. Andover is up big on Coon Rapids, 48-0. Anoka playing Blaine. Centennial against Champlain Park. Farmington against White Bear Lake. Chanhassen and Waconia are in action tonight. The other two teams that are in this division, they are playing each other at Waconia, and no updates from that one. Shakopee and Stillwater are also playing. So there's your update on some scores from around the state of Minnesota. And we'll see if we can check on some more of those maybe at the end of the game, as we got a good one here between Mankato East and Mankato West. Today's game is brought to you in part by Top Line Credit Union. For over 90 years, Top Line Financial Credit Union has been helping the Twin Cities reach their financial dreams with 11 convenient branches. They're here for life's big moments, for your first checking account, to new wheels, dream home, retirement, or your small business. Visit toplinecu.com today, because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA, an equal opportunity lender. Today's game is brought to you in part, also in part, by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Big plays happened here on the field and at home. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has the winning game plan to keep your family comfortable all year long. Don't miss this month's specials at standardheating.com. And finally, by Xcel Energy, supporting student athletes and making energy work for you and our communities. That's at Xcel Energy. So we got a 14-7 game here. Mankato East is on top of Mankato West. And the Cougars will be kicking the ball off to the Scarlets to get us in action here in the third quarter.
Between Mankato East and Mankato West is being featured as
And by the way,
American Rivalry Series games across the nation.
we mentioned earlier about this Echo food drive, and that it was a competition between these two teams, and the Tackle Hunger fundraiser. 1,720 total pounds of food being donated between these two schools and the Mankato community. 870 for East, 850 for West. So Mankato East gets the victory by 20 pounds. So really cool for the Echo food shelf. Underway here in the third quarter, and this kick is going to go out of bounds, and oh boy. So we got a kickoff out of bounds here, and the coach for Mankato not too happy about it.
Fans, if you're wondering what the
And I suppose I should specify which Mankato. That would be Mankato East, and Eric Davis.
released into the air is our both student sections, East and West, are doing that for mental health awareness.
Okay, you can see the smoke up air, and that is for mental health awareness. We're learning from the PAs, and are they gonna are making them kick again? I guess so. All right, well, we'll do it over. I'm not sure why. Full disclosure, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll kick again, and this one is yet again going towards out of bounds, but will be fielded at the 25. And another big hit. And I think learning his lesson this time is Bennett Balam, as he actually checked that make that Haneke. Because Haneke, he was the one who got that 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after making a very similar hit. And this time he celebrated away from the guy that he just leveled. But boy, has he been a menace on special teams today for Mankato East. Gotta love it. Scarlets will take over on the 35-yard line, and still with the backup QB, Charlie Bobholes in for the Scarlets. Bobholes takes the snap, and it's going to be a handoff for Sheldrup. And we'll see if they go with a heavy dose of Trevor Sheldrup, who gets 5 yards on that play with the backup QB in there. And if you're just joining us, normal starting QB Osborne Lorenz, who was off to such a great start this season for Mankato West, left the game in the first half on a non-contact injury, it looked like. It could have been him getting stepped on maybe by the foot of his offensive lineman, but from my view up here, it looked like a non-contact injury on a play, on a false start, and he took the snap and then was immediately unable to put any weight on his right leg. So we'll hope for the best with Lorenz. As here's Sheldrup with another carry. He picks up a Strib Varsity first down running to the right. And he was tackled down by Blasco on the play.
7 yards, and it is a strong
And
first
a
down.
first down for Mankato West, trailing 14-7. But Lorenz, the numbers entering play today. So this is before any accumulated stats that he got today. 29 of 53 through the air, 54.7% completion percentage, 494 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. But the most impressive part was the 25 carries for 221 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's the part that is the most impressive about his season so far. And they continue to go on the ground. Sheldrup's got 3.
Again with the carries brought down by
They're going to say 2. So they'll mark him down to 49.
number 23, Logan Kleist, pick up of 2
So obviously wishing for the best for Osborne Lorenz, a big part of any success that Mankato West is going to have this year. Bob Holes, to his credit though, and this was right before the Mankato West touchdown, he threw a strike. His first play into the game, a 3rd down and 10 to Aiden Betts. And looks like he's going to throw again here on 2nd down and 8 with 5 wide. Bob Holst throws quickly outside. It's caught by the running back Sheldrup. And there'll be another short gain of just about 3 yards. They'll mark him down at the 48-yard line into Mankato East territory.
4 yards on the play, brings up 3rd down. And
5 yards to go now. They got to get to the 43 of the Cougars. This Mankato East defense, they were a bit banged up last week. Some injuries kind of affecting things, but they have been at full strength and dominating today so far. Now a chance to get off the field. 3rd down and 5. Bobos in trouble. Spins out. He just lofts it up into the air and incomplete. The near sack on the play for Kleist, I believe. And that'll bring up 4th down and the punt team onto the field.
complete. Logan Kleist applying pressure.
So Kleist, he had a 2-sack game last week and very nearly had one there. Bob Holst did all he could just to get rid of that football. So some movement on that drive, but not a ton, and Mankato West will be forced to punt it away. And this is going to be fielded at the 13. A nice move and a couple of big hits laid, but eventually the tackle made on Stair at the 23-yard line about. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Cougars there. Today's game is brought to you in part by Minnesota Masonic Charities, building a stronger future for Minnesota, one child at a time. Minnesota Masonic Charities. Strib Varsity 1st and 10 for Mankato East, up 14-7, making that big stop there. How will Mankato East respond? Well, this Mankato West defense, they're going to need to be coming up big. Kampoff gets the carry, and he is tackled down after a short gain of 2.
Carry for the Cougars. He is brought down by number 51, Alan Bush. Pickup of 3 yards.
Bush and Clark Shane were in on the stop there for Mankato West. And this will bring up 2nd down and 8. Willard's all alone in the gun, and the flag flies, and we're going to get a false start penalty. So it'll back up these Cougars 5 yards.
tonight's contest between East and West has been designated as a featured game of the nationwide 2025 Great American Rap. Sports Stream is America's largest.
You know, it's really funny too, is just getting the chance to talk to both of these coaches this week. And there is a trophy on the line. It's a little, this jug that these two teams play for, and you play for it every year in the regular season meeting between these two teams. So we're gonna get second down and 13, and on the end around, Gustafson, and good gang rally tackling by Mankato West to stop him down for no gain. But the vibe around these two teams very different about this game, at least from the coaching perspective. You know, you talked to Mankato East and Eric Davis, and he was saying, yeah, this is just another game on the schedule for us. And obviously, you know, you have this game against your rival, and you know, you get the chance to, with JJ Helgett, he was the head coach for Mankato West, kind of just downplaying this game a little bit. And it's a game that, you know, the team looks forward to, but it's a little, you know, there's just not as much juice for the Mankato West side. I mean, it's an important game, but coming up short there. So this is bring up the punt team for Mankato East.
Brings up fourth down for the Cougars.
But it's kind of just one of those games where, you know, they're trying to just go out and win it, not for the fact that this is their rival, but because of the fact that, you know, they want to achieve their ultimate goal at the end of the season of winning the state tournament. And winning this game is something that will help them accomplish that goal. As a fair catch signal is made, and then it's just going to roll down out of bounds, or not out of bounds, I should say, down at the 24-yard line, and that is where Mankato West will take over.
Stare at the 24-yard line where the Scarlets will take over.
On the other side for Mankato East, this is the game that they want so badly, and they want to lift this jug. It's on so many of their players' to-do lists. This is what Eric Davis told me. And that they were extra focused, extra motivated ahead of this one against this team. And maybe that's just the difference in coaches in a team that hasn't won this game in a while and a team that has. As down the middle of the field, that ball is dropped. Oh, no. Running free and open was Betts. Right down the seam between the two safeties. And the throw could have been a little maybe tighter to the body of Betts, but that is one that you would think that your junior wide receiver would come up with. And the plays that you got to make if you're Mankato West and you're trailing down in this game. I just don't want it to be misconstrued, though, because obviously this game means a lot to Mankato West. But and just for different reasons, I think, than it does for Mankato East. So got second down and 10 coming up. And the handoff to Sheldrup is going to be for minimal gain.
Sheldrup on the carry. He's brought down by number 7.
The other thing, too, and this is partly due to Eric Davis's background, Mankato East head coach, is he loves this rivalry. And it's something that he didn't really get. He grew up in Winona, Minnesota. He played and coached around there for a little while, and he didn't really get a kind of rivalry like this. One that it's just the two teams just don't like each other that much, and he never really got that in Winona, and now he gets that here in Mankato. Bob Holst is rolling. He's lofting and just out of the reach of his intended wide receiver that time. Looking for Winant. And that'll bring the punt team out for the Scarlets. And you have to wonder maybe if Bob Holst had the room to run there. It was open there for him. So the Mankato East Spirit Squad, the Spirit leaders, I love it. All in the same outfit. I'm sure that wasn't planned. and running up and down the Mankato Stadium sidelines here in the bleachers, imploring this Mankato East crowd to get loud. It's a short punt here, and this is going to die at the 45-yard line. And that is where Mankato East will come back out onto the field.
Fans, at this time, Mankato East High School would like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Quality 1 Hour Photo, Palmer Transportation, Played Against Sports, at AA Golf, Prime Source Funding, Pro Golf, Grove Bank, Mashka Personal Injury, and Tampa Insurance, at Expo 11, PLK Electric, Forbes, Realty, 111 Cup Style, and B Stark and Company for their contributions to tonight's game.
All right, here we go. Mankato East is back out on offense. Campoff on the carry and backpedaling his way for a good gain. He was dragging guys who had his legs the whole way, and normally that's ideal for a tackler. But Campoff, those short, choppy steps, able to backpedal his way for an 8-yard gain. And this will bring up 2nd down and 2. Back to Campoff, trying to get around the end, and this time not much there. Mankato West, this is what they pride themselves on as a defense, is stopping the run. And their goal entering this game today was to try to make sophomore QB Kellen Willard try to beat them. And so far, aside from that one big run by Campoff, they've done a solid job of that. And so is the sophomore QB Willard. When he's been called upon to make a play, he's been able to make it. Down to 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 3rd down and 1 coming up. Back to Campoff. He's got the first, and he's still going into the defensive backfield and tackled down from behind inside the 20. That's a gain of 31 yards for Campoff, and the touchdown-saving tackle made by Ben O'Neill. And a 1st down and 10 for Mankato East. A Strip Varsity 1st down inside the red zone. And we're going to get a timeout on the field as we have an injured Scarlet, and that is O'Neill. And that is a big blow for Mankato West. And O'Neill is back out onto his feet, and he will walk gingerly towards the sideline.
Home is where it happens. The you had to be there stuff. The blink and you missed it stuff. The remember this stuff. That's why the local experts at Truestone Home Mortgage are here for the making your dream home yours stuff. It's true, because we're Truestone.
Mankato East, they are in charge of this one, 14-7. Mankato West trying to keep the Cougars team out of the end zone. The ball resting on the 18-yard line. And the Scarlets trying to maintain their grip on this series. They're in trouble right now as Willard looking, end zone, Tischler, touchdown! What a throw by the sophomore QB. And Tischler with a massive touchdown to put the Cougars up 2 scores. And now, got to catch your breath and try to knock this extra point through the uprights, and he got it.
Just 20 is good, and with 3:19 to go
17-yard touchdown throw from Willert to Tischler. And I believe Tischler's second touchdown of the evening. And by the way, just in case you were curious, if you've followed along with us on our prep tour with KARE 11, we started out at in Richfield at the Academy of Holy Angels Byron game. Last week we were in Becker to watch the Bulldogs in the Hutchinson Tigers battle. And I've always commented on the fight songs for each of these teams. Mankato East, they're the band here to the right. I don't know if they played the fight song after one of their touchdowns, but I did hear it pregame. And in case you were curious, Minnesota. It sounded very much like the Golden Gophers fight song, which I'm sure makes a lot more people happy this week than last week when we had the Becker fight song, and that was the Badgers, Wisconsin Badgers theme and fight song. This kickoff by the Scarlets brought out pretty good solid field position, the 33-yard line. And Mankato East, they've got the home side of the stadium. This is a home game in name for them. And they are up 21-7. 3:10 left to go in quarter number 3. Mankato West back out on offense, and they have not really been too effective moving the ball today. And here we go. We got another pre-snap penalty, and you can kind of see some of the detriments for Mankato West and having that backup quarterback out there. Some things with the cadence and the snap, and some other things with the plays, and just nobody being quite on the same page. The connection between quarterback and wide receiver isn't really there. So this is a massive hill to climb for the Scarlets. Try to increase their grip on this series and make it 20 straight wins in the regular season. 20 straight times with the jug. As Bob Holst is dropping back to pass, throws outside the numbers, and that is caught by Betts. And that's going to be a gain, short gain of just 1 yard.
6 yards on the play, 2nd and 9 for the Scarlets.
It's a long pitch and catch for just a 1 yard connection. Actually, check that. That's going to be a gain of 6. Yeah, I had 1st and 10 in my mind. That was 1st down and 15. So 2nd down and 9 coming up now for the Scarlets. .302 left to go in the third. Sheldrup trying to slip through the line, and he's taken down at the 40. Clock ticks under 3 minutes now to go in the third.
6 yards.
And this is a manageable 3rd down for
3rd down for the Scarlets.
Mankato West. Here come the spirit leaders for Mankato East, hyping up this crowd. It's 3rd down and 2. Mankato West making a late substitution as this clock continues to run. I don't see any active play clock here in the stadium. So can't really tell if that's what that's at. Direct snap, and Sheldrup put it on the ground. Sheldrup able to get back on top of it this time, though, for the fumbling team. And that's a loss and a tough break for Mankato West, because it certainly looked like Sheldrup had the opening required to get the 1st down. And now You got the offense still out there, but now it looks like they're going to come off the field and we're going to see a punt. I'm feeling a fake here for some reason. You got to be aware of that if you're Mankato East. Be careful. They need the 39 to make that the 43 for a first down. Keep it in mind. Yeah, my intuition was wrong. They are going to punt it away. And look out. That ball hits the Mankato East player who had his back to it. Mankato West is going to get this ball. Oh, boy. Worst case scenario there for Mankato East as that ball hit Justin Charles in the back of the left leg. And that's fallen on by the Scarlet. So this will be their ball. 1st and 10 on the 39. So that is the worst case scenario there if you're the Cougars. And it kind of just functions as a big play. They go from 39 to 39, a gain of 22 yards that they'll get in field position, and now they have the ball in plus territory. 1:09 left to go in the third. The senior QB, Bob Hulse, will throw it on first down. Has his man outside the numbers. And that's been the route. That's Betts again. Moves the sticks. That little out route has been the favorite of Mankato West today so far. And that seems to be Bob Hulse's most comfortable throw. So the ball rests now on the 24-yard line, down to 1:01 left. Shell drip to the right of Bob Hulse. Bob Hulse will throw again. He's lofting deep and in and out of the hands of Senski. Oh, he had him. The throw just a little underthrown. You put that out in front, and Senski is in easily. It floated up there just a tad too long. So now what? 2nd down and 10 from the 24-yard line. Bob Hulse rolling and sacked. Sacked all the way back at the 35-yard line by Tilgis. And a big loss. And they got to get all the way into the 14. This ball is back at the 34. That's a loss of 10 yards. And not falling for that play action fake whatsoever there. Third down and 20. And that quarter is going to come to an end. Third quarter in the books. Mankato East, they can taste it. They're close. 12 minutes left in the game. A 14-point lead to protect from getting this long-awaited victory in the battle for the jug, the Mankato crosstown rivalry. Play through the quarter break, and we'll be back to continue this one shortly.
Topline Financial Credit Union now offers 11 full-service branch locations from St. Francis and Forest Lake to Maple Grove and Bloomington and several in between. For 90 years, Topline has been serving the Twin Cities. So trust the credit union that I trust with your auto, home, and personal banking needs with competitive rates to fuel your dreams. Whether it's a car, a mortgage, or everyday banking, trust Topline's friendly and knowledgeable team. Join today and experience the difference for yourself. Visit toplinecu.com today because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. Big plays happen here on the field and at home. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has the winning game plan to keep your family comfortable all year long. Don't miss this month's specials at standardheating.com. Big play here for Mankato West. 3rd down and 20. They'll run it with Sheldrup up the middle, and that's a nice gain. So this will put it at a go-forwardable, for lack of a better verb, I guess. Trademark that one, maybe. Feel free to use that one whenever you want, actually. But it'll be 4th down and 8, and the offense, unsurprisingly, will remain out on the field for Mankato West. Gotta have it. They need the 15. Bob Hulse dropping, looking, fires, incomplete. He was looking downfield for Sheldrup, who ran the wheel out of the backfield and not on target. And that will be a turnover on downs. And the Strib Varsity 1st down for Mankato East. And this Mankato West crowd on the other side is silent. Their defense is out there, and they're going to need to get this ball back quick. 11-13 left, 1st and 10. And we'll see a heavy dose of this guy. Campoff running right, and he gets to about the 22-yard line for a gain of 4.
Clarkson for the Scarlets pick up a 5 yards on the play.
Campoff ran 19 times last season, 140 yards, or last game against Rochester John Marshall. 140 yards, 3 touchdowns. He accounted for 1 more receiving, 3 catches, 33 yards as well. And he's got a receiving touchdown today as well. So back-to-back games with a receiving touchdown for the tailback. Who gets this ball running left, trying to get around the end, but he is taken down. Taken down in the backfield. Good play by Thomas Rikus. I read that like a book, and now Mankato West is 1 play away from doing what I said that they had to do, and that's get the ball back quick. Stop them here. It'd be a quick 3 and out. Gustafson, Roosevelt, Tischler off to the right, and Campoff standing next to the quarterback Willard, and he'll swing it out to Campoff, and he's wrestled down out of bounds. That'll be short of the line to gain, and that is, in fact, a quick 3 and out. And that'll bring 4th down. And you know, it's kind of a common saying in amongst Matt LaFleur, the Green Bay Packers. They always say, and I'm sure a lot of coaches say this, but the Packers are the last one that I've heard that says this. And they say, no block, no rock. And there you saw Gustafson, Roosevelt, and Tischler out there blocking their butts off, but not to be that time. Here's Gustafson to punt it away, and this is a high, short punt, and this will roll inside the 45 and be down at the 44-yard line.
Gustafson's punt is down by number 32. Henneke.
By Henneke, who, again, boy, it feels like every single time Mankato East has been out there on special teams. We've called his name in some capacity. It's a big drive for Mankato West. They gotta have it.
The results are in. Killer for the counting the total chin-ups from each school's winner of the 2025 Rivalry Series Marines Chin-Up Challenge will be announced after this play.
We have another pre-snap penalty.
Well, it's not exactly a play, but we'll announce the Brett Brown probably did about.
All right, so after the pre-snap penalty that pushes back Mankato West by 5 yards, bring it back out to first down and 15. Bob Hulse is throwing, and again going deep, and again just a touch too far, looking for Sensky. Boy, how big is that misconnection between those two back in the third quarter now? A sure touchdown. And again, Sensky probably could have had it still, but it was probably about 2 yards underthrown. And you lay it out there for the guy to go get, and you're talking about a one-score game here. But now your team's still down 2 scores with 9:26 left to go, 21-7, and the fourth quarter winding down. Sensky split out left and Betts out to the right, and he looks confused at the moment. High snap, Sheldrip will run, and he is stood up. Tackled by Charlie Johnson for minimal gain, and this is third down, and you have to think 4-down territory here. But this is...
Pick up a few yards on the play, brings up third and long. Scarlets.
Looks like he's cramping. And nice guy out there in Sheldrip, who's helping out stretch out his leg there. That certainly looks to be a cramp for Johnson. So we will take a quick break here and be back in 30. Johnson is back out, and he'll limp off towards the sideline and get ready to put us back in play. And a huge third down coming up, 9-10 left to go. Third down and 14. Mankato West needs to get to the 47 of the Cougars. Bob Hulse throws and nearly intercepted. And yet again, him and Sensky just not even in the same chapter at this point, let alone the same page. And so bring up first down, a big fourth down. Are they punting this football away? Yeah, it appears they are. I mean, it's one of those ones where you kind of you maybe consider wanting to just go get a few yards and get yourself a little bit closer with a run or just a quick hitter on the pass. And, oh, man. You see a late substitution running onto the field there for Mankato West, and they're going to be forced to burn one of their precious timeouts right here. That is not ideal. And honestly, at that point, you might as well just, I feel like, just take the consequences there, but they will take the timeout. Today's game is brought to you in part by Frontline Credit Union Topline Credit Union, I should say, for over 90 years. Topline Financial Credit Union has been helping the Twin Cities reach their financial dreams. With 11 convenient branches, they're here for life's big moments. For your first checking account, to new wheels, to your dream home, retirement, or your small business, visit toplinecu.com today, because connected, we all do better. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Letter. Apologies there to Topline Credit Union. A low punt that's going to take a Mankato West bounce, but right into the hands of Stair, and he's got a solid return out to the 38-yard line.
Excuse me. It's Mercy Brown after gave the MVP.
So this is going to bring up that first down now. Strip varsity 1st and 10 for Mankato East. And they're in probably, you would think, ball protection mode right now. Running the ball, picking up first downs. That's the goal with these possessions, up 2 scores. 8:46 separates them from the victory. They're going to throw off play action. Willard will tuck it, and he gets tackled down to the 36. So that'll be a loss of 3, and will likely go down as a sack for O'Neill, who has been everywhere today. Good on Willard for, he didn't see anything. You go down inbounds. That keeps the clock moving. 8:15 and counting. And we got a flag here. So the false start's going to be called on Mankato East. That'll back them up. By the way, you see that big guy in the middle for Mankato West, number 57, just towering over everybody. You were thinking to yourself, man, how tall is that guy? Well, the answer is 6'7". And we'll get a look, maybe just watch him move some people here. He's actually stood up pretty well as Kampoff runs around the left end, and he's still on his feet. Kampoff with a good run to get this third down to a manageable number. Back in between the sticks again.
9 yards on 10 yards on the play. Brings up third down for the Cougars.
So now on the other side, a crucial third down. You pick it up and you can kill probably another 2 minutes off this clock. Single coverage everywhere. They'll run it anyway with Kampoff, and he'll be stopped. For a gain of just 1, so Mankato East will punt it away, and Mankato West will get the ball back with around 6 minutes left. Currently just under 7 minutes, clock ticking.
Brings up fourth down for the Cougars.
It's curious maybe if Eric Davis would have the kahunas to try to take a shot at that single coverage out on the right. Send a guy in a fly, see if you can connect with the sophomore quarterback, but not that time. And another muffed punt, and Mankato East is on it. Koborowski let it go right through his hands, and Mankato East gets the ball back. Muffed punts on each side now. Or punts off, turnovers off punts, I should say. The Mankato East one was deflecting off of their player. This West one, just a muff. And that's a tough break for Steele Koborowski. Man, that's an interesting play call there on 1st down and 10. You want to take a shot through the air with the sophomore QB Willard. Try to maybe catch him off guard. I can see the thought, but that was not very close. 2nd down and 10 coming up. They still probably would need at least to get inside the red zone if you want to think about attempting a field goal should the drive stall out and go up that 3 scores. It's Camp off, running right end, and just barely gets back to the line of scrimmage and not much further than that.
Brings up 3rd and 9 for the Cougars.
It's been busy today. I don't have the full stats out in front of me, but I'd be really curious to know how many times that man has carried the ball today. It's got to be at least 25. Third down and 9. And Campa puts it on the ground, and I think Mankato East got back on top of it.
Recovered by Campa.
So that's good awareness to get back on top of that one by Campoff. And so that'll bring up 4th down.
13 for the Cougars.
And they got to get to the 17. So 4th down and 13, and they're kind of again in that no man's land where you don't really want to punt it, but it's kind of too far for a field goal. So the offense is out on the field as we're inside of 5 minutes left. Over the middle, and Willard. He had Tischler. And that would have been a really impressive connection had those two been able to hook up there. But that pass will fall incomplete. And a Strib varsity 1st and 10 for Mankato West. The Minnesota State University wants to let everybody know that big things are happening at Minnesota State Mankato. Everyone is invited back to campus Wednesday, September 24th at 7 p.m. for the launch of the Future State, a bold new vision to build state-of-the-art facilities that will host athletic events, farmers markets, concerts, and conventions, in addition to creating space for learning, fitness, retail, and student living. Be part of the excitement and join us for this milestone event on September 24th at 7 o'clock in the Taylor Center. 4:45 left to go, and Mankato West. And that's a sack. Johnson, who's no longer cramping anymore, picks up the sack on Bobbles. And a loss of 9, but a flag down. But it's in the territory of holding. And that is indeed what the penalty is. So that'll back up the Scarlets, who are trying to avoid their first 1-2 start since 2012. And they currently sit at 1-1, so it would take quite the comeback in order to avoid that. Snap to Bobbles, rolling right, throwing right, too high. He is over the hands, just off the hands of his man, Jose Froderman. And that will bring up a 3rd down and long. You got to get at least 7 or 8 yards here, you think, if you're Mankato West. Get this 4th down in gettable territory. You have to think this might be the game. third down and 18. Mankato West needs to get the first in one of these next two plays. Bobbles all alone in the shotgun, and again he's running for his life, and again he's sacked. Back at the 14-yard line. And this time, getting him down, Maxwell Morgan.
4th and 18 for the Scarlets.
4th down. And with under 4 minutes left to go, this is the game.
Correction, that's 4th and 28 for the Scarlets.
What do you have for 4th and 28? Is there anybody who's got a play in the playbook to get this? Game on the line, streak on the line for the Scarlets. 4th down and 28. Bob Hulse, and he throws it looking for Sensky. That pass is incomplete. And there is a flag down in the backfield, so. And they're going to get Mankato West with a chop block. And so that's a turnover on downs. And Cougars ball.
Possession, and that's another Mankato East.
So Mankato East, they've certainly looked like the teams played with more juice today. Kind of came into this game more motivated to win it. And out on the field right now, they're showing it. And obviously aided by the fact that Osborne Lorenz, the starting quarterback for Mankato West, got injured in the first half. But I tell you, if you go into this game without any context and you ask which of these two teams was the one to have dominated this series, you would probably say the team in black and gold, the Mankato East Cougars. And Eric Davis, he said, and when we met with him, these are the reasons why you play. And these are the games that you get up for, why you work out in December and January, suffer through that, to be able to play in these kinds of games and these kinds of atmospheres. This is a handoff, by the way, for Anthony Lucero, and he has got
Anthony Lucero with the carry, picks up
a few yards there, and it'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 14. .205 left and counting. Lucero running left, and he is going to be short of the first. And we got a Scarlet down on the field, injured. That's Laren Kelly, who's back out on his feet, and he is going to get up and get to the sideline before the trainers can come out to check on him, but they'll probably check on him at the sideline. Minute and 38 seconds, the clock stops, and now it'll keep rolling.
4th and 2 for the Cougars.
And a 4th down and 2, and Mankato East still out there. Lucero is still the tailback into the game. On a 1:15 left. Mankato West, they still have a couple timeouts in their back pocket that they're choosing not to use. And the clock is continuing to run. How long are we just going to sit here like this? Now, finally, Mankato East will call a timeout. It's their first of the half with 61 seconds left. So Mankato West certainly looks like they're going to fall to 1-2 for the first time since 2012, in a program with 14 state tournaments to their name, 5 state titles to their name, including as recently as 2021, the state tournament berth as recently as 2022. And a really good team in 2023 that came up just short of the state tournament. But last year, a very disappointing loss into the section semifinal against this very same Mankato East Cougars team that is going to beat them tonight. And got some work to do, some soul searching to do ahead of their next matchup at home against the Waconia Wildcats. And that'll be next Friday. And Mankato East, folks, and might have a real good team in Mankato East this season. 3-0 they're going to be after this. And the 4th down and 2, Lucero into the end zone. Why not? Touchdown for the Cougars to go up 27-7. And this night has belonged to Mankato East.
Fans after the game, we'd appreciate staff members come on down to the field. Fans, please stay off the field. We do have the Great American Rivalry Series trophy presentation, championship trophy being presented, followed by the most valuable player award, and then
what a night for Mankato East and the Cougars. They've waited for this for 2 decades to put it together a game like this against the Mankato West Scarlets. And they have just gone up 28-7 with 55 seconds left.
it's Mankato West 74, Mankato West Cougars 28.
Mankato East, by the way, up next. They'll be headed on the road back up north towards the cities to face the Chaska Hawks. They're not going to be up home for a while. It's going to be October 3rd, the next home game for Mankato East. And that will be a battle with the Wildcats. But first they go play Chaska and then Chanhassen. And they'll go into at least the matchup against the Hawks, an unbeaten 3-0, searching for their first state tournament berth since 2004. And perhaps this year they might have the team to do it. We'll certainly find out. And kicking it off will be the Cougars. It's a short kick that will bounce, and a good tackle made by guess who? He's everywhere on special teams.
26.
It's Haneke again. Here's the important thing to note, and obviously these two teams, they're in the same division. They're also in the same section, and that is what happened last year. And Mankato East, who's going to win this game, knows this better than anybody. These two teams are probably going to see each other again in the postseason. And that's kind of what Mankato West head coach J.J. Helgett was trying to say before. Like, this game, it does mean a lot. There's a trophy on the line. You play it at Minnesota State Mankato, big crowd. Everybody's here. Great American Rivalry Series game. Dueling community charity raising. But when you think about it, the game to extend your season later on is the one that you really want to get. And Mankato West, they were the ones to win this game last year in the regular season and then have their season end at the hands of their crosstown rival. And so now Mankato East, it's going to be incumbent on them is to make sure that doesn't happen to them this season. And that's where JJ Hellgett was coming from earlier when he said, yeah, I mean, this game it's a game. It means a lot. It's a rivalry. You want to win this game, but we also have our goal of winning the state tournament. And if these teams see each other get in the postseason, that's where that game might mean a little bit more. But for now, Mankato East, they've waited for this moment for 20 years. For the first time since 2005, the Jug will be going eastward to the Cougars. 000 on the clock. The teams will shake hands at midfield. But I'm going to tell you, as soon as the first guy gets through the handshake line, they're going to be running for that Jug. Mankato East, 28-7. Victors tonight over Mankato West. Mankato West, they'll be walking off the field with some big questions to answer, but the Cougars, again, this night, it belonged to them. And the Battle of Mankato finally will go their way in the regular season. They'll pose for this picture on the field. Thought that the Jug was going to be around, but suppose not. We'll find out in just a sec, as this game has come to a close. And there are the Cougars.
Tonight's most valuable player and award-winning team, the Great American Rivalry Series Championship Trophy, to commemorate their outstanding performances. The Great American Rivalry Series and the United States Marines are proud to recognize the Mankato East Cougars as the 2025 Great American Rivalry Series champions. Congratulations to everyone who participated. Special thanks to the United States Marines for their partnership with the 2025 Great American Rivalry Series.
Oh, we're done.
So they're
in a second, we will announce the MVP tonight. We had some technical difficulties and didn't hear the name, but if you could, on the field, call the number of the player forward, we will announce his name. The votes have been tallied, and the winner for this year's MVP of the Great American Rivalry Series is Blake Campa. Congratulations to Blake Campa on the MVP. captains go to the Cougars. Captains come forward and collect their trophy for the Great American Rivalry Series champion. Student leadership team, come on forward and take your picture. Congratulations to the 25 Great American Rivalry Series champion, the Mankato East Cougars. Congratulations, Cougars. Heading towards the 10-yard line, you will find the Mankato Jug.
And so there they go with the ultimate prize in the Battle of Mankato. The Mankato Jug is finally back with the Mankato East Cougars. A well-earned victory tonight, 28-7 over the Mankato West Scarlets. A really fun game between these two teams played it today. But Mankato East, they're the better team today on the field. The Scarlets are going to have to figure out maybe, hopefully, Osborne Lorenz is okay. But if not, they're going to have to figure out life without their starting quarterback and have to find a way to win that postseason matchup. If these two teams match up, do what Mankato East did to them last season. But for now, perhaps the tide of power is shifting back eastward to the Cougars, who have now won 2 straight in the series. And again, we've said it too many times today, Mankato East fans are not going to be tired of this never being able to be a thing again. But for the first time in 20 years, the Mankato Jug rests with the Mankato East Cougars. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to tonight's Prep Spotlight KARE 11 game of the week. We had a blast here in a really fun setting with 2 good teams out on the field, and the Mankato community showed up and showed out this evening. What a crowd. Not many empty seats in the entire building, really, and there were some people sitting around at the end of the field, sitting around, hanging out on the fences. This was packed to the gills. We donated a ton of food for charity. We raised a bunch of money for cancer. It was a lot of fun, and we got a great game out on the field. But better team won today, I think, with the Mankato East Cougars. They led 14-7 at the half, and then scored the game's final 14 points as well to get the win, 28-7. And in case you couldn't hear, we took it down to the field for the post-game ceremony. This is a Great American Rivalry Series game. This is a nationwide tour involving teams and football teams from all across the country. And Mankato East, Mankato West, the rivalry chosen for it tonight. And that was the post-game celebration ceremony that you saw out on the field. And the MVP of this game, I don't know if there's any other choice. It went to Blake Campoff, who had one fantastic evening running the football and passing and catching the football for the Mankato East Cougars, who are victors of the Great American Rivalry Series trophy, and perhaps most importantly to them, the Mankato East Jug, and maybe even more important than that, are now 3-0 on the season. Mankato West falls to 1-2. Again, just a reminder, both of these teams will be in action next Friday. Mankato West will be back home to face Waconia. Mankato East hits the road and will head to Chaska in their next game. That is officially going to wrap it up for our coverage this evening on the KARE 11 Spotlight Prep Football Game of the Week. Special thanks to our sponsors, Topline Credit Union, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, XL Energy, Star Tribune, and Minnesota Masonic Charities. And again, just a reminder, Minnesota State Mankato inviting everybody back to campus Wednesday, September 24th for the launch of the Future State. and a plan for unveiling new state-of-the-art facilities on the campus of Minnesota State Mankato. That's at the Taylor Center, September 24th. There's the celebration, and we will cap off our coverage right there. That's the prize for Mankato East, 28-7 victors over Mankato West. Thanks for joining us tonight. For all of us here that are produced and helped out with the KARE 11 Game of the Week, my name is Anthony Winker, signing off. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see where this journey takes us next. Have a good rest of your nights, and we'll see you next time.